Hello and welcome to Sweetwater. I'm Mason Marangella, the owner and CEO of Vertex Effects, and I'm here with my good buddy, Ford Thurston, and we're here to talk to you today about the dynamic distortion. The dynamic distortion was one of the first products of the Vertex line, and it resembles a modified pedal that I used to do for a lot of the LA session musicians that wanted a super versatile distortion box that could do everything from beautiful cleans to thunderous, monstrous, dirty tones, kind of resembling a high gain Marshall JCM 800 or JMP era Marshall, and everything in between. It's almost like you have 5 different overdrive distortion style pedals just by way of where you put your tone control and your volume control on your guitar. So Ford's going to take us through some of those tones today, but I just want to take you through what we got here. It's very simple. It's 3 knobs and the truth. You got volume, you got a tone control that is really just a high pass filter. As you bring it up, it brings in more high end. As you go all the way to the left, it's just going to be as neutral as possible. So we're going to actually start with it in its most neutral position, not letting through any more high end than is necessary, and then we're going to have the gain a little bit over halfway, but let's just get our clean reference tone. So nice clean tone there, just coming straight out of the Hot Rod DeVille, real standard kind of backline style amp. A lot of us might own at our homes. Let's now bring in the dynamic. So as you can hear there, pretty versatile. Let's just go back to the clean reference again, because that was some pretty fire-breathing monster tone. We're definitely seeing a huge transformation of the amp, and typically when you start going for high gain tones, it can be pretty easy to lose sight of the amplifier itself. It can kind of transform into something that almost sounds solid state.
That's channel switching right there.
Yeah.
That's channel switching.
This definitely can get the vibe of a channel switching amp. A lot of those classic multi-channel amps that you would have seen in the 80s that a lot of guys were using, this can definitely emulate some of that stuff in terms of being able to give you, you have your great bass clean tone in your Fender amp or your backline style amp, your clean style amp, you bring this in and you get that really kind of beautiful high gain. But the thing too is it's dynamic like an amp, as the name implies. You start rolling it down, you get some kind of cleaner tones, some sparkly tones. Can you just show us, where I'm bringing this back in, can you show us some of the kind of cleaner tones just by rolling back the volume control?
Sure.
Wow, I mean, you can really hear here, it was like, you had it super sparkly, The top end still remains really present. That's always the danger when you're going with distortion devices in terms of pedals, rolling down the volume. Sometimes you have a tendency to lose a lot of that top. The definition, though, I mean, is incredible.
When I rolled it back, I had complete control. Once again, I could turn the amplifier into a one-channel amplifier and manipulate it with my volume knob, and it do what it's supposed to do.
Now, let's try, maybe I'm going to turn down the gain a little bit, and I want to kind of see what happens if we're kind of going more like a classic rocks, kind of like a Eagles, Don Felder type thing. Can you kind of show us, we might get some a little less gain than what we just had. It's definitely, I mean, like, you kind of went through a little medley here of some of the classic, like, rock tones, and it sat right in there with it. I want to add in a little bit more gain than before, and maybe we can go towards some of those more aggressive, kind of GNR, appetite type tones. Let's see what that does. I think maybe we should change that hat to a top hat. This is, I mean, it's pretty incredible. I mean, because let's just go back to our reference here. I mean, it's completely dissimilar. I mean, it's like you just transformed your amp into a JCM 800 or a JMP era Marshall. It's pretty incredible. If you want these tones in your clean amp or even through a dirty amp, this is something that you can get right from your Sweetwater sales engineer. I highly recommend that you check it out. I think you're going to dig this pedal quite a bit. As you can see, you can get classic rock tones from the late 60s up through the 80s and 90s and really be able to transform your amp from a clean platform to a fire-breathing monster and get a lot of shades in between by just where you manipulate your tone controls, your volume controls, and just the three controls that are here on the dynamic, and really being able to capture the essence of a lot of those classic tones that we all know and love. If you like what you saw today, I highly recommend that you like, you subscribe, and you leave a comment so you can be up to date on all the latest and greatest stuff that's coming out from Sweetwater. Until next time, I'm Mason Marangella from Vertex Effects, and this is my good buddy Ford Thurston. Ford, play us out. Ford, play us out.